Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. We are deep into BRICKTOBER, and while this may not seem like something that's on brand, this is definitely something that has to do with things going bump in the night. So go ahead and leave us a like, because today we are taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Nightforce 2-pack of Falcon and Quarrel. This was, of course, part of the Walmart Collector's Con, the last Collector's Con that we had. As a matter of fact, if my timing is right, if this is going to go up when I think this is going to go up, this will be going up, this video will be going up on the day of the newest Walmart Collector's Con on Thursday the 17th, which is also the first day of New York Comic Con. So hey, welcome to the con weekend. This is currently sold out both on Walmart.com and on HASBROPulse.com. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about that, because even though this is sold out on Hasbro Pulse, they have the Nightforce, Shockwave, and Ram set. So I don't doubt that this is eventually going to be back up for sale on Hasbro Pulse. And we've seen Nightforce show up at Big Bad Toy Store as well. So even though it's sold out now, I don't think there's a real worry. I do believe that this set will eventually pop back up someplace, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Hasbro Pulse, whether it's going to be on Big Bad Toy Store. So what we have is your standard 2-pack now, real big window right here where we can see both of the figures. We can see most of the kibble, all the bits and bobs that he's going to come with, or that the set is going to come with. We have the G.I. Joe Classified logo down here. We have Nightforce logo over here. My boys, my Nightforce. We have their names, Vincent R., Falcon, Falcone, and Quarrel. We have sort of like this textured carbon fiber packaging that the Classified series comes in now. 138 up top, along with the G.I. Joe star. We have some real nice, let's raise this a little. We have some real nice artwork of Falcon and Quarrel right here on the side. New face sculpt, love this. This is some real good artwork right here, man. On this side, we just have their symbols that we're supposed to be able to look up. I've never bothered doing that. More artwork of them down here on the bottom. And then on the back right here, we have some photography of the figures in action with some of their accessories. We also have some highlights to take a look at once we get this open and we see what's going on inside. And I just noticed now that they are in a dark energon mine, where we know there are mole rats creeping around in there. So maybe they'll make an appearance in this video. Who knows? But that's where they're at. So, without further ado, let's get this open and let's take a look at Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Nightforce 2-pack Falcon and Quarrel. Okay, here they are, Falcon and Quarrel out of the box, and putting the tape measure between them, we can see that Falcon is approximately 6 1/4 to the top of his head, whereas Quarrel is 5 3/4 to the top of her head. Okay, so the first one we're going to take a look at is Falcon here, and while I don't doubt that this body is reuse, I'll be honest, I can't pinpoint where the legs and the torso come from. It's very possible they come from a figure I don't have, because I don't have all of the Classified figures. I really thought that he was going to be a lot of reuse from the original Falcon figure, especially the legs and the boots. But this is all different from the original figure, and we'll take a look at that in 1 second. But obviously things like the shoulder pauldrons here, these are reuse from the Steel Core 2-pack. I know we've seen this vest before, but for the life of me, once again, I cannot remember where this vest comes from. He has so many shotgun shells all over his armor, which makes sense. I mean, the shotgun is his weapon of choice from any of the figures that we've seen before. But what we're going to take a look at first is the face sculpt, because I know that is what a lot of people were anxious to see after the tragedy that was this one. That is a really hideous face sculpt. There's no other way to say it. There's a reason they came out with a brand new one for the new figure. And I do like this one a lot better. I'll be honest, when I first looked at this through the packaging, I thought it was the same as this one, just with a different paint deco on it. But when you pull it up close and you take a look, you can definitely see that the lips are sculpted different. This one has like these laugh lines. This one doesn't have them. The eyes are different. The arch of the eyebrows are different. So yeah, this is definitely a new sculpt from the old one here, and it does so much better. Now, you can swap these out, and we'll do that in a second, but one thing that they did, the skin tone is not quite the same. The Nightforce version of Falcon has a more pale skin tone than the standard figure, but he looks so good with this on. So let's pop the beret off first. Let's just get this out of the way. Let's pop the old head off. Let's pop the new head off. Let's put the new head on the old figure. Let's set him up with his beret. Fix his suspenders. And look at that right there. Doesn't that just make this figure so much better, so different? Looks more like it should. Does look more like the vintage version of Falcon. Like, makes you wish they would have just done this in the first place. But this looks so much better. So you can do a head swap with them if you would want to. If you would want to use this for your original Falcon. So that is a possibility, and man, does that look good. Okay, so now that we have the right heads back on the right body, let's also bring in his Nightforce beret, because he does come with one, and get that on him. So it's basically the same sculpt as the beret from the original Falcon, just painted black, has the Nightforce logo on it, and kind of completes the figure right there. Gives it that look of Falcon. I dig that. I really do. This scarf piece we've seen before. This is the piece, of course, that has been used on Zartan. And no, not Zartan. I'm sorry. This has been used on the Range Vipers. And like I said, he has his belt down here with all the shotgun shells. I really like that they painted the arm hair in on him like this. I think that is a really nice touch. He has his holster down here. He has just an accessory pack down here. Standard laced up boots that we've seen before. This whole figure works. This works so well. I wasn't a big fan of these shoulder pads on the steel core figure. As a matter of fact, I took them off because I thought they looked a little too bulky. Plus, they kept falling off. But this figure, Falcon, has beefier arms. And even when I was playing around with them a little bit, yeah, these still get loose and shift sometimes whenever you're playing around with him. But for the most part, I feel like the bands stay around his biceps a lot better than they did the steel core figure. So I think I'm gonna leave them on him. Plus, it just gives him it gives him a good look. His paint scheme, pure Nightforce. Dark colors, the browns, the grays. Heavy on the greens, which a lot of the other Nightforce figures don't have this heavy of green going on. And down here on the knee pads, he will stand out a little bit from the rest of the team, and you'll see that once we line them all up. But other than that, I think he fits in real well. We have the Nightforce logo here on his shoulder pad, whereas of course with the steel core figure, that was the steel core logo. And we have just a touch of paint for the shotgun shells and the green band going there. The legs, like I said, the legs and the torso, not really sure where they come from. No doubt that it's reuse, but let's get on with the articulation. That his head will do a full 360 spin. Ball joint, he can look up. Oop, that was me. He can look down okay. He has some tilt side to side. Arms will do a full 360 spin. They have a butterfly joint. Now, I do want to take this off because one thing that is frustrating is that the arm will only come up to about there. And you can see underneath here that the roll of the shoulder is hitting the butterfly joint right there. Because if you do this, if you bring it up, it can go, whoop, it can go out more than it can go up. That like this here, I don't know if maybe that cuff needs to be spun in there somehow or what, but I don't know. He just has better articulation out than he does up. Because when I first did this, at first I thought it was the shoulder pauldron, but it's not. It's just that that shoulder piece is way too built up that it's colliding with the butterfly cuff. So that's really all the further up you can get his arms. He has the bicep swivel. He has double jointed arms with some decent travel to them. Little beefy, and it sticks a little too. But there we go. That's better. Wrists swivel. This one hinges in and out. I believe this one goes up and down. Yeah. And then his right hand hinges up and down. Let's put this back on. Okay, arms up and out of the way now. You can see that there is an ab crunch in here underneath there. The armor doesn't get in the way horribly. It's fairly soft and malleable, so you can still get a decent amount of crunch out of him. Plus he has this ball joint at the waist. You can do a full spin. It can go back. It can go forward a little bit, and you get some side to side. Not a whole lot, because all of this gear does sort of collide with each other. Drop down legs. They'll come forward that far. They'll go back that far. Come out to the side. Whoop. Come out to the side to there. Now here is an issue that I have with it. And I don't know if it's just mine, but you're getting this gapping on the thigh joints right here, which I'm glad we have these packs right here because it does help to cover that. You can push it up in and you have the thigh cut swivel right there. But when you play around with the knees, which really good travel on the double jointed knees, especially for the bulk of the legs right here, you can see it starts to separate real bad from the tension from being pulled on. So you kind of have to push it back up. Boot cut, ankles rock back, ankles rock forward, forward facing pin for some rocker. So there are some disappointments with the articulation on Falcon here. One of them being the shoulders, not being able to get the arms up as far as I would like. The other one being this gapping right here on the thigh joint. Now, granted, this may just be mine. This, I have a feeling, is a fault of the figure, but this one may just be mine. Also, if you know where these legs come from, is that indicative of these legs? Like, whatever figure these came on. I feel like I have this figure and I can't remember. I really do, but I'm not going to be able to remember all of them. But if you know where these legs come from, is that indicative of just these legs? Like, does that happen other places, or is that just happening on mine? And next up, we're going to take a look at Quarrel here. New character, definitely not a new figure. This is a combination of figures. This is a combination of parts. Most notably, Scarlet. We have Scarlet's legs, we have Scarlet's arms and hands. The torso is Shooter. We have Shooter's armor, and we have the armored shoulder pads from the female Steel Core figure. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just use the female Steel Core figure for Quarrel. I get using Shooter's torso because this armor is pretty much designed specifically for Shooter. As a matter of fact, yeah, it's all one piece. So if you wanted to reuse this armor, you had to reuse the entire buck. But I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get the legs and lower body of the Steel Core figure, female Steel Core figure, and the arms of the female Steel Core figure, or at least just the arms. I get wanting to use the lower torso, the lower body of Scarlet, especially if you want to use this quiver so that you have that peg right there that holds the belt in place. So that is why we have like the crotch piece of Scarlet as well. But I really thought that they would have used, just get some more use out of the Steel Core figure. Plus, you know, she is a member of the Steel Core. I like this earpiece right here. I think that is slick. I really like that. I haven't seen them do that on any of the other figures. I think that is a really nice touch, and I really like once we put the steel core helmets on, and you'll see that you can still see like the wire going up underneath, like maybe that jacks into the communication system in her helmet as well. On the shoulder pad, we have the Nightforce logo. We have Scarlet's shuriken right here. Dagger sheath, another dagger sheath, quiver for her crossbow bolts, and that's about it. No holsters for any other pistols, and we do have additional accessories. We'll be taking a look at that in a moment. Also, she's kind of like in this perpetual state of arms akimbo just because of the design of the body and the buck. Like, I don't think these arms go as well with this body as like Shooter's arms went and vice versa. Scarlet's arms with Scarlet's body. There is that little bit like arms akimbo thing going on. So let's check out the articulation. Head, full 360 spin. She can look up, she can look down. She has head tilt side to side. Arms will do a full 360. No butterfly joint. Arms will come up to 90. You see that the shoulder pads get up out of the way. Bicep swivel. Oh, I just noticed that. There is the Union Jack right there. I don't remember Quarrel from the vintage line. I don't remember much about her, but I do remember that she was from across the pond. So I dig that they put the Union Jack right there. Her and Big Ben can hang out and talk about the homeland. Double jointed elbows with some decent travel to them. Wrists swivel, wrists hinge up and down. Do they hinge up and down? Or are these hinge in and out? Yeah, they hinge up and down right there. Let's get her arms up out of the way. There is some waist twist that she can do the full 360 spin at the waist. Little bit of leaning back, little bit of leaning forward, little bit of side to side, but most of the back and forward is going to come from the ball joint at the waist. That will do a full 360 spin as well, and also give you your side to side tilt. Drop down legs. We'll come up to there. We'll come out to the side fairly well. Thigh cut. Oh, sorry. They will also go back that far. Thigh cut. Double jointed knees that are really sticking right now with some decent travel. Once again, the boots. Did they modify her boots? I'm going to check that out in a second. Boot cut. Ankles rock back. Ankles rock forward. Forward facing pin for some rocker. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the face sculpt here, but let me set her down for a minute because I think they modified her boots a little bit. Let me grab Scarlet real fast. Okay, so here's Scarlet, and they did not modify her boots. I thought she had like that little vent coming in off the back of her boot right here, but that was from the original classified Scarlet, not the retro card Scarlet. So the boots are the same, the legs are the same. My mistake. I thought they had modified the boots a little bit. I do dig this face sculpt. I really do. I like this. I like this short chopped hair right here. I really thought this hairdo, when I first saw the pictures of it, was going to be basically Scarlet's hairdo minus the ponytail. But the face, the hair, everything. This is a completely new sculpt right here. And I dig this. I like this. Very high and tight, very business. Paint apps very well. Kind of shiny though, if you notice that. Very shiny, like very plasticky. If you're somebody that hits things with a dull coat, you might want to do that for her. Unlike Falcon, Quarrel does come with an extra set of hands, which out of the box she has her trigger hands. But she also has a pair of clenched fists, and the fists pivot in and out instead of up and down. So not only being members of Nightforce, in this version of Falcon and Quarrel are both members of the Steel Core. And as you can see, they come with their Steel Core helmets. Now, unlike Clutch and Shockwave, these are not the helmets that will slip over the heads. These are actually the Steel Core helmets from the Steel Core 2-pack. That these will just pop on and off, and you can see it's the original sculpt, but I really like the paint deco that they did with this. With the red visor, the gold trim on the inside, the green for the visor and the black being predominant. I really love like the Nightforce wings right here on the sides of the helmet. They did that for both of them. Both of them have basically the same paint deco. One's just a little bit bigger than the other for Falcons and Quarrels. Now, I don't have a problem that they did this, but it kind of makes for an odd mix when you have some that slip over the head sculpt and then you have some that just pop on the ball joint, mainly because the helmets are going to be different size. Because if you take a look at this helmet, like, there's no way his head actually fits inside this thing. But take the beret off, pop his head off, and Falcon's helmet gets on there real good. It doesn't pop on though. I don't know if you heard that, or rather didn't hear that, but it will pop off. But when you push it down, it just kind of seats there. So there he is with his steel core helmet on. And honestly, compared to the bulk of the figure, it kind of makes his head look a little small. I don't know. What do you think? That might just be me, but I do think it makes his noggin look a little small. Maybe I'll get used to it. Let's pop Quarrel's head off and put her helmet on. And I think hers looks great, honestly. Like, I may actually display her with the helmet on more than I do with it off, because I think this looks like a complete figure. I think this looks really good. This is cool too, don't get me wrong, but this to me just looks complete. The head size, the helmet size goes with the rest of the body. The paint deco goes with everything. There's a lot of green on Quarrel as opposed to Falcon that just has like some green on the armor. He has the green scarf and then the green knee pads. This all just ties together really, really well. Whoops. And yeah, I may display her with the helmet on more than I do off. Oh, and this is what I mean, that like, if you can see that, let's get the light on here. You can see that like the communication wire goes up under the helmet and kind of gives the impression of, you know, giving communication capabilities inside the helmet there. I think that is really cool. So lately, whenever Hasbro has been putting out a 2-pack or a figure and vehicle pack, they've also been using that as an excuse to sort of give you a weapons pack loadout with that set. And I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, as somebody who hopes and wishes that Hasbro would put out like classified weapons packs, I am ecstatic that we get all of this gear. Now, some of these pieces obviously go to certain characters, while others can be mixed and matched, or you can give them to other figures that you have in your collection, some that don't have weapons at all, like Breaker. But what we're going to start with is Falcon's gear, and the first thing we're going to start with is the obvious one, which is his backpack right here. Now, this is the same backpack that came with the standard figure. However, instead of being molded completely in green, we have black with green. It's only two-tone, but that two-tone adds a lot to just make like the antenna, the grenades, and the coil of rope, I'm sorry, the canteens and the coil of rope just really stand out. It also has the sheath up here at the top where we place his dagger right here, which is pretty beefy of a dagger. As a matter of fact, for the scale that it is, you could even use this as a machete. And that fits into the pack. And then the pack fits very securely onto Falcon's back. And I dig that. I really like the color scheme that they have going on here with these greens mixed in with the browns and the blacks. So we set him back here. Something else that he has, you may have remembered that he has that hip holster down there. So we have two sidearms right here. Let's bring these up. That we have a short barrel and we have a long barrel. The short barrel right here is a small compact sidearm and it has an extended magazine. And then the long barrel is just a standard sidearm. Kind of looks like it's a 1911. Might be hard to see in the camera, but I think it's a 1911. I may also just be biased because I really like the 1911s. Now, what's really cool is that he has this hip holster right here, and you can see that The long barrel will fit. It protrudes a little bit out from underneath the holster, but also the short barrel with the extended mag fits in the holster as well. So you can pick and choose which sidearm you want Falcon to have. I'm going to give him the long barrel, and we're going to pop that right back in there. So let's set him back down. Something else that is quite obviously his is his signature shotgun right here. And I got to be honest, I am not a fan of this piece. I believe this is the this is supposed to be the Spaz 2 tactical shotgun. Don't have a problem with that. Don't have a problem even with the sculpt of this one. As a matter of fact, I like the extra paint deco that they put on this with the red pump action and the brass on the shotgun shells, whereas the one that he came with originally was like a gray with just some green and some brown. This is definitely more dynamic. This definitely stands out, and this definitely matches the Nightforce look. What I have a problem with a shotgun is the collapsing stock, that when you fold it in, it's not too bad. It works. You saw that my other Falcon figure, this is pretty much how he holds it. It's when you try to open it up that the pegs do not stick. The hinges do not stick. They want to keep coming apart. Honestly, on the other two that I have, because we got this with Falcon and we got this with Wolf Spider, this wasn't the issue. It's the butt stock that keeps popping off of Wolf Spiders and Falcons. It looks good. I like what it represents, but I just don't like it as a piece, because also if you try to put it in his hands, at least I have this issue, if you try to put it in his hands with the stock extended and you move him around and pose him, eventually this is all going to pop off. So I may not pose Falcon with his signature shotgun. What I might end up giving him is either this, which is the saw that we got with the Range Vipers. No stock, no bipod, just a removable ammo box with the belt coming up. I like how that comes out, and you can just fit it up. Whoop. Get in there. Get in there. That hooks in there, and then there you go. That slots in. So he has this that we could give him, or the M16. The trusty, I believe this is the M16A2, maybe, with removable magazine, molded completely in black. We got this with Grunt. We got this with Mutton Junkyard. We got this with Scarlet, and we have another one. I'm actually surprised they didn't give the laser rifle with this set, but I'm thinking I might give Falcon the assault rifle here, just because, I don't know, I don't like the shotgun, and yeah, we'll just give him, he'll have that to hold on to. Now, we also have some other accessories here. We have this headgear right here, which we got this with, I think this was a Tunnel Rat, that this just fits down over his head. We can pop his beret off, and we can fit this on, and it gives him the night vision goggles. It doesn't fit as easily and seamlessly over Falcon's noggin as it did over Tunnel Rat's, but Tunnel Rat also has that bandana on that sort of smooths his cranium out. But there we go. He has the night vision goggles. And something else that they all come with, or not that they all come with, but something else that they come with is two flashlights with the red filters on there. So we have one for each of them as well. Now there's no place on their armor to put these, not like how there was with Tunnel Rat, how you could put them on his backpack and they would kind of shine over his shoulder. But they can carry them. So there we go. There's Falcon, pretty well decked out with some of his Nightforce gear, night goggles, communications backpack. Let's even these out. Night goggles, communication backpack, flashlight, M16. Like I said, don't think I'm going to be giving him the shotgun. Also, we have this grenade launcher. Once again, this was something that we got from the Range Vipers. And this isn't bad. We haven't gotten a lot of these. We have this with the Range Viper. We got this with the Hiss 2-pack, or the Hiss Fire Team set. And I can't think of any place else that we got it. So it's cool that we got one of these with the Joes now. Now for Quarrel, we have all of her crossbow bolts right here because she does come with the crossbow. And they fit into her quiver right here, just like they did with Scarlet. We can put them in tip first. And it's a bit of a snug fit, but they do fit in there very well. You saw one had a broadhead. The other ones, the other ones have smaller broadheads, but broadheads nonetheless. So they all fit in there. You can see that the quiver is slotted. Now the fourth one is the grappling hook bolt. I forget what this is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like a grappling hook. Or maybe it's just blunt force trauma. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. I've never been able to get it to fit in the quiver well, whether for Quarrel here or for Scarlet. So what I have done is just put it into the crossbow right here. That the bolts do click in. Come on. You have to get the feathers, the fletching lined up, and there you go. It just snaps right in to the crossbow. This crossbow is also the same crossbow that we got with Scarlet, and I hate it. I really do. I hated this when we got Scarlet. I got Scarlet a new crossbow. It's too small. It doesn't fit in her hand right. It's very boring, to be completely honest. And yeah, when I put it in her hand, like it just, I don't know. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. In Scarlet's hand, it was very loose. Quarrel, theoretically, has the same hands, and she has a pretty decent grip on it. So there we go. That is her main weapon, the crossbow. We also have, we can give her the other sidearm right here. Unfortunately, she has no holsters for that. So if she's going to be carrying it, she's just going to be carrying it. I kind of wish she had something on the back here, or even something on this hip under the... No, you couldn't do that, but like maybe take away this other dagger sheath right here and given her a holster right there where she could holster the sidearm, because this holster is for this dagger, this small black one, that will just fit in right there. And then just like Shooter, she has this shoulder sheath right here that this kukri blade can fit in, this Gurkha, and that fits in real cool. I really like that. I like that on Shooter. I like that on Quarrel. So there we go. There is our 2-pack decked out, ready for battle. And we have some leftovers. Like I said, not the standard loadout, but this is probably how I'm going to show off Falcon. I'm actually even considering taking the crossbow off of Quarrel and just giving her the grenade launcher right there. I don't know. I do wish there was also a holster for the sidearm for her. I feel like Quarrel, despite being the new character, there wasn't a whole lot of thought. They just like took parts, kit bashed something, gave her a new head sculpt, which I am very happy with. But like when it came to the gear, yeah, you have the crossbow, but there's no place to put the pistol. There's no backpack to give her a rifle like there was with Scarlet. There's no backpack at all for her to outfit anything. It's just this. Like, they gave her the new face sculpt. They gave her a new paint job, which I adore the paint job, but they didn't really think about what they were going to do as far as the accessories go, which is kind of disappointing. However, I'll tell you one thing that I am very happy of. Nightforce finally has a field leader. And now for size comparison, here they are beside HASBRO G.I.JOE Classified Series Ripper and Zarana. Here they are beside Valaverse Action Force Bone Collector version 2 and Pandora. Here they are beside Hasbro Marvel Legends Blade and Daredevil Elektra. Here they are beside Fresh Monkey Fiction Operation Monster Force Joe Fest exclusives Blood Prince Dracula and Omen of Darkness The Forgotten King. Here they are beside Lanyard Toys City Hunter Predator and Xenomorph Drone. Here they are beside Super 7 Deluxe Target exclusive Lion-O and Conan the Barbarian. Here they are beside Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia He-Man and Masters of the Universe movie Skeletor. And finally, here they are beside NECA Toys Dungeons & Dragons Warduke and Grimsword. So if you watch this channel, if you pay attention to my G.I. Joe reviews, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that I really love my Nightforce. And because of that, of course I'm going to be biased to liking this 2-pack. There are some things that I wish were different. First of all, I do wish that there was a little bit more thought put behind Quarrel's accessories. I wish she would have had a little bit more her specific accessories. I wish she would have had a backpack that you could outfit some extra gear on. I wish she had a hip holster that you could put one of the sidearms into. Other than that, I really like her as a character. I like her paint scheme. I really like how she looks with the Steel Brigade helmet on. It's almost like this figure was made specifically for that. I think she looks real good, and I'm probably going to be displaying her more often than not with the helmet on. Falcon, I wish, came with a different shotgun. We need to get Falcon new shotguns. We need to come up with a new Spaz 2 shotgun, because the one that came with this Falcon, the one that came with the old Falcon, the one that came with Spider-Wolf, it just doesn't cut it. I like the look of it, but to be completely honest, it's the execution, the way that that stock just keeps falling apart. I wish they would come up with a better way of doing that. Falcon's thigh cut coming apart. Now that is a figure defect, but I'm not sure if that's mine or if that's indicative of the figure in general. Also, as I kept saying, I don't know if maybe that's indicative of the figure that these legs originally came from. And even though that is a character defect, it's not one that's really bothering me too much, because you have the thigh packs, his holster, and like that ammo case on each one that helps to hide that. And also, if you just push them back together, they'll stay there. And I have no doubt that if somebody has a better hand at figure customization, you'll be able to pull that apart, sand the peg down, and pop it back together. I'm not that good. I might try that later down the line, but not yet. Falcon, however, I think looks great. His head sculpt is a vast improvement over the original one. I like that you can swap it onto the old figure, so if you want to have a standard, more, vintage, more traditional looking Falcon, you can do a head swap, and it's much better than what we got before. Then if you did that, you could just put the Steel Brigade helmet on this version of Falcon and just have him as another member of, Nightforce, and give him a different name. Make him your own. It's the Steel Brigade. Do what you want. This version of Falcon is definitely beefier, and I do believe it's because he has so much more coming in from the Steel Brigade. Those shoulder pads, for example, the armor that he wears beefs him up a little. And let's be honest, the buck that they used for him, that gives him some beef as well. I really wish I could remember where the buck and the legs for Falcon came from. Once again, if you know, let me know in the comments below, because it is driving me crazy. I feel like I have these figures, but I can't place it. All of the accessories, all of the weapons, I really like what Hasbro's been doing with things like that, making it basically into sort of like a weapons pack whenever you get a 2-pack or whenever you get a character and vehicle pack. I think this 2-pack really, really hits a home run. I really like the figures. I really like the new character of Quarrel. I do have some minor issues, and mostly everything that I've said has kind of been a personal nitpick. But I really like the end product. I like what you get for the money. And of course, I always like when I get more team members to add to my beloved Nightforce. Don't touch that dial. Before you go, please remember to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you already are a subscriber, what a legend you are. If you like what we do here and you want to help the channel grow, please consider becoming a member, whether through YouTube memberships or our Coffee monthly subscription. Links to that in the description below. Both of them for $1 a month, you can get access to exclusive content, such as our monthly member exclusive video. This month is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Stinger. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.